Biodiversity or biological diversity is immensely rich in wildlife and cultivated species. It is with many different forms and function, but closely integrated in a system through multiple network of interdependencies. Conservation of forest in the background, of rapid decline in the wildlife population. Conservation is the need for our country like India. Conservation process the ecological diversity and our life purpose in terms of water, air, and soil. It also preserves the genetic diversity of plants and animals for better growth of species and breeding. 1960s and 1970s, conservation is demanded a national wildlife protection program. The Indian Wildlife Protection Act was implemented in 1972 with various provisions for protecting habitats. An all India list of protected species was also published. The thrust of the program was protecting the remaining population of certain endangered species by banning hunting, giving legal protection to their habitats, and restricting trade in wildlife. Subsequently, central and many state governments established national parks and wildlife sanctuaries, about which you have studied. There are there are species which are gravely specific animals which are gravely threatened, including the tiger, one-horned rhinoceros, Kashmir stag, or hangful. Three types of crocodiles are there: freshwater crocodiles, saltwater crocodile, the gharial crocodiles, the Asiatic lion, and others. Most recently, the Indian elephant, black buck chinkara, the great Indian bustard, Godawan, and the snow leopard, etc., have been given full or partial legal protection against hunting and trade throughout India. The Indian elephant, black buck, chinkara, the great Indian bustard, and the snow leopard. Tiger is one of the key wildlife species in the fauna world. In 1973, the authority realized that the tiger participated by dwindling, so so it was due to poaching. So Asian countries left for tiger population was on the verge of extinction. Since India and Nepal provide habitat to about two-thirds of the surviving tiger population in the world, these two nations become prime targets for poaching and illegal trading. Project Tiger, one of the publicized wildlife campaigns in the world, was launched in 1973. Tiger conservation has been viewed not only as an effort to save an endangered species, but with equal importance as a means of preserving biotype of sizable magnitude. Corbett National Park in Uttarakhand, Sundarbans National Park in the West Bengal, Bandhavgarh National Park in Madhya Pradesh, Sariska National Park in Rajasthan, Manas Tiger Park in Assam, Periyar Tiger Reserve in Kerala are some of the tiger reserves of India. The conservation projects are most focusing on biodiversity rather than a few of its components. Um, Even insects are beginning to find a place in the conservation planning. In the notification under the Wildlife Act of 1980 and 1986, several hundred butterflies, moths, beetles, and one dragonfly have been added to the list of protected species. In 1991, for the first time, plants were added to the list, starting with six species. Even if we want to conserve our vast forests and wildlife resources, it is rather difficult to manage, control, and regulate them. In India, much of its forest and wildlife resources are either owned and managed by the government through forest department or other government departments. Reserved forest, more than half of the total forest land uh, has been declared as reserved forest. Reserved forests are regarded as most valuable as far as conservation of forest and wildlife resources are concerned. Protected forest, almost one third of the uh, uh, mo- of the forest areas protected forest as declared by forest department. The forest land are protected from any further depletion. Unclassed forests. There are other forests and wastelands belonging to both government and private individual communities. Reserved and protected forests are also referred to as permanent forest estates, maintained for the purpose of producing timber and other forest produce and protective reasons. Madhya Pradesh has the largest area under permanent forest, constituting 75% of the total forest area. Jammu and Kashmir, Andhra Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, West Bengal, Maharashtra have large percentages of reserved forest of its total forest area, whereas Bihar, Punjab, Haryana, Himachal Pradesh, Odisha, and Rajasthan have a bulk of it under protected forests. All eastern states and parts of Gujarat have very high percentage of the forests. Conservation strategies are not new in our country. In Sariska Tiger Reserve, Rajasthan, villagers have fought against mining by citing the Wildlife Protection Act. In many areas, villagers themselves are protecting habitats and rejecting the government involvement. The inhabitants of 5 villages in the Alwar district of Rajasthan have declared 1,200 hectares of forest as the Bairo de Dakau sanctuary, declaring their own set of rules and regulations which do not allow hunting and are protecting the wildlife against any outside encroachments. The famous Chipko movement in the Himalayas has not only successfully resisted deforestation in several areas but has also shown that community afforestation with indigenous species can be enormously successful. For say farmers and citizen groups like the Bachao Andolan in Tehri and Navadanya have shown adequate levels of diversified crop production without the use of synthetic chemicals are possible and economically viable. In joint forest management, program furnishes a good example for involving local communities in the management and restoration of degraded degraded forests. The program has been formally in existence since 1988. Odisha was the first resolution for joint forest management. They depends on the formation of local village institutions. In return, the members of these communities are entitled to intermediate beneficial like non-timber forest producers and share in the timber harvested by successful protection.